All around Gordon House, the crowds had gathered to watch the arrivals for the opening of Jamaica's independence legislature. The Premier, the Honourable Sir Alexander Bustamante, led the members of his Jamaica Labour Party. Their supporters cheered them all the way from the Duke Street headquarters to Gordon House. There was cheering, too, for the Honourable Norman Manley and the representatives of the People's National Party, the official opposition in the new legislature. As the members entered the House, the crowds awaited the arrival of His Excellency the Governor, Sir Kenneth Blackburn. The Guard of Honor was mounted by the 1st Battalion of the West India Regiment. Attending the Governor during the inspection were his ADC, Lieutenant Carr, Brigadier Lister, and Lieutenant Colonel David Smith. The regimental band provided the music. It was an occasion of pomp and ceremony which underlined the great importance of the coming session and the heavy responsibility which rests on government and opposition members alike. When the inspection was over, Sir Kenneth Blackburn entered Gordon House. Inside the chamber, members of the council were present as he made his way to the dais, followed by the clerk of the legislature. The time-hallowed ritual of democratic parliamentary government was faithfully observed, as His Excellency bowed to the Council and the Lord Bishop before requesting the attendance of the elected members of the House of Representatives. Sir Alexander Bustamante led in the government supporters. On them falls the biggest share of responsibility for steering Jamaica into independence and guiding the destiny of the people who have chosen them for the task. Mr. Norman Manley and his supporters then moved to their places in the chamber. Though in opposition, they share no less the burden of deciding wisely for the future. Prayers were said by the Lord Bishop, the Right Reverend Percival Gibson. Prayers for God's guidance and blessing on the work of the new legislature. The ceremony was relayed by public address system to the waiting crowds outside. In a few short months, the decisions taken in this chamber will be sovereign within the island. There can be no interference except by treason or act of war. As tradition demanded, the speech from the throne outlined the government's policy for the new session. His Excellency concluded with these words.
The greatest need in the Jamaica of 1962 is surely confidence. Confidence by all Jamaicans in their ability to cope with their many problems and so to take a full place in the world as an independent nation. And confidence in Jamaica by those outside whose help we need. The first will beget the second. We know that we have in this new legislature today a body of men and women devoted to their country and capable of rendering great service to it. But we have to prove this to those outside. I am confident that you will do so. It is then, in a spirit of great personal pride in Jamaica's achievements, and in a spirit of complete confidence for the future, that I now have the honor to declare this session open. May the blessing of Almighty God rest upon your country.
The opening ceremony was over. The elected members prepared themselves for the work to come. Destiny had called them to the task at a time more important than any other in Jamaica's history. They represented a people united in purpose, united by a sure faith in the future of their country.
Is on the threshold of independence. Soon she will emerge an independent nation after 307 years of British rule. To bring home to every man, woman, and child in the island the meaning of this most significant step in her history, preparations move into high gear in every city, town, and village. The campaign to clean up, paint up, and decorate is well underway. Whilst a large and excited crowd awaits the arrival of the Vice President at Victoria Square, they are entertained by the Navy band from the USS Lake Champlain. Sir Alexander Bustamante and Mr. Lyndon Johnson arrive together. In a speech, Sir Alexander says he knows of no better friends than the Americans, who are friends not only of today, but of long years ago. Replying, Mr. Lyndon Johnson expresses confidence that the traditional friendship between the two countries will grow and prosper with Jamaica's independence. Who is no stranger to Jamaica, is for the first time accompanied by her husband, the Earl of Snowdon. She is welcomed by the Governor, Sir Kenneth Blackburn, who introduces her to the Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, Lady Blackburn, and her Jamaican equerry, Captain Rudolph Green. Leaders of all walks of Jamaican life are presented. Representatives of the church, cabinet, legislature, and judiciary. On Saturday, August 4th, the most impressive monument to independence, the new National Stadium, is opened with a great rally of the youth of Jamaica. Despite heavy rain, which fell only an hour before, more than 20,000 people turn out to witness the ceremony. Princess Margaret is met by the Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, who introduces the Minister of Education, the Honourable Edwin Allen, and the Honourable Edward Seaga, Minister of Development and Welfare. Mr. Seaga presents the Chairman of National Sports Limited, Mr. Herbert MacDonald, and others who were responsible for the construction of the stadium. Mr. Seaga, in his speech inviting Princess Margaret to open the stadium, says,
I am sure that everyone here shares my pleasure that Her Royal Highness, the Princess Margaret, and the Earl of Snowdon have graced this historic opening of our National Stadium with their presence.
As we all know, tomorrow night, this stadium will be the scene of the historic flag raising ceremony. But this afternoon, it is the youth rally, which will be a living illustration of the heart and soul of Jamaica of the future.
Princess Margaret presses a button that unveils the Olympic statue of a Jamaican athlete. She names the area Independence Park and declares the National Stadium open. The Jamaican athlete is a symbol for such men. On Tuesday, the 31st of July, at a ceremony in Victoria Park, Jamaica's national flag, which is to be raised in the stadium at midnight on Sunday, August 5th, is handed by the mayor to members of the Boys Brigade to be carried by relays of runners through every parish of the island.
When they gain victory, now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me.
By midday on Sunday, the flag reaches Morant Bay in St. Thomas. One of the 156 relay teams participating in the island run hands over the Jamaican flag to a new team to be carried on the last stages of its journey to the National Stadium. And now it is almost evening on the 5th of August, 1962. In a few hours, Jamaicans will witness the most important occasion in their history, the moment at which Jamaica attains her independence. In every town and village, people are gathering in their thousands to witness at flag-raising ceremonies the very instant when the national flag will be raised and the national anthem of Jamaica sung for the first time. The hour of midnight approaches. 30,000 Jamaicans and their distinguished guests, including Princess Margaret and Vice President Lyndon Johnson, assemble in the National Stadium. They are privileged to participate in the main ceremony heralding Jamaica's independence, an event which comes but once in the history of a people. At 3 minutes to midnight, the flag of Jamaica is borne into the arena by runners of the Boys Brigade and received by the Prime Minister, who hands it to a warrant officer of the Jamaica Defense Force. His Excellency the Governor and the Prime Minister take up their positions facing the royal box.
Right! General, salute! Present!
The British flag, which has flown over Jamaica for the past 3 centuries, is about to be replaced by the Jamaica national flag, heralding the birth of the new nation. The lights go out. The Union Jack is lowered, and the new flag of Jamaica raised.
Present!
Then all Jamaica bursts into celebration. From one end of the island to the other, the sky is ablaze with the bursting of fireworks. Their riot of colors and diversity of sound transform Jamaica into a veritable fairy. morning, flag-raising ceremonies are taking place at schools all over the country, so that the children can have an opportunity to witness the birth of their new nation. The children are given independence souvenirs and treats to mark the occasion. And here's to independence. The youth of Jamaica is confident in the future. On canoe dances, traditional in Jamaican folklore. Roadside shows specially organized by the government. These are staged at focal points throughout the corporate area.
Over wind and rain, oh, morning neighbors, pretty call, 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 pretty like the law. Hey!